So go ahead and enjoy the moment, because there's plenty to go around. Keep it easy, my friends. Sincerely, Food. Sincerely, Safeway.
Check it out. Imagine how much Mountain Dew is in there.
We should probably drink these fast.
When we started Beyond the Boundaries, our hope was just to help more women feel comfortable in the park, learn new things, and just have a really good time snowboarding. All of the women that come here immediately are part of that, and I think that really enables more learning and more fun.
BT Bounds has become this big family that we've come to love, and we look forward to it every single year.
For more information on Beyond the Boundaries, you can check out our Instagram at BTBounds or our website, www.btbounds.com.
You better hang on, because Papa John's just flipped pizza night on its head. Introducing the new crispy Parm Pizza. Just when you thought all that cheesy goodness couldn't get any better, we decided to put toasted Parmesan cheese where cheese never cheesed before, on the bottom. You know you can't help but flip it over and take a look. This is the crispy Parm Pizza, only from Papa John's.
Something off the side.
Welcome back, everyone. Dewtour Copper Mountain 2023. Sunsets behind the Rockies. We fired up the lights. It's a party out here. Copper celebrating its 50th year anniversary, and the party continues out here. You got Mixmaster Mike out there keeping the stoke going out there. We got crowd surfing going on and everything else. It is an all-out festival out there. Did he go switch right there? I believe he did.
He did. That was a Papa John's pizza flip.
Good branding. Yeah, exactly. You just called it. That's you're working the branding into the mix right there. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the DTL booth. Jimmy Coleman alongside Gus Kenworthy. We got a special guest here. We got Hunter Hess joining us out here. And the party's outside. We kind of get the short end of the stick because we got to be in here. But we're kind of driving the bus. So we just got women's snowboard street style in the books. We've got men's ski street style coming up tonight here. And this one's kind of a little bit different from what we've seen in street style events in the past. We've got a lot more rail features to choose from out here tonight. So I'm pretty excited about this one.
Wow, and I am so excited that I asked you to join our panel because it was just going to be Hunter and I could not have handled that introduction. So thank you for the heavy lifting.
Hey, listen, I'm just trying to drive the bus. I'll get us in and out. I'll do all that stuff. You guys just talk skiing, and I'll get us into commercial breaks.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. I mean, today we already saw the half-pipe event, which Hunter participated in, and it didn't quite go his way, but it was a super fun show. And tomorrow it's not over because he has the high air best trick.
The jam.
That's the jam. And truly, not to put Hunter into a box, but if there's one thing that he can do, it's come out of the woodworks with a big crazy trick and go absolutely huge. So I think it could be a good day for you tomorrow.
You're putting me on a pedestal right now. Now I have to perform.
I put you on a panel, and now I'm putting you on a pedestal. Hopefully tomorrow I'll put you on a podium.
Yeah, there you go.
I have no say in any of this.
No. And maybe some tricks for cash as well.
Some money in my pocket, go home, not empty-handed. It was sweet.
Absolutely.
We're just looking out for you this week.
I'm just trying. I'm supporting you. Yeah, I'm just trying to help you.
Yeah.
There's also there's additional cash being handed out tonight by the father, the daddy, Papa John, for the best flip. Whoever does the best flip on this street style course, which I don't know. Well, who knows how many flips we'll see because it's a rail course.
I almost hope none, but for $3,500, I would do a flip.
Well,
there's still time.
Yeah, there's still time.
You can get your stuff on. Can we get a late minute ad for Hunter?
We got a late entry.
So let's take a look back to earlier today to your action in the pipe. Let's talk about what we're going to possibly see out of you tomorrow in Big Air. Talk about what happened today.
Yeah.
We're going to see some highlights here in a second. There we go.
That's me. I don't know. The pipe rode super well today. It was a lot better than the other day. The weather kind of held up. I'm curious what run they play. I didn't really land
Japan.
All right. Nice.
I think this is your first run.
I think so.
I love that 10. Yeah, so which hit do you think that is going to be your kind of moneymaker tomorrow? Where are you planning on going? Huge? Are you going to do it at the top, first hit, or are you do it at the bottom?
I think I'd probably do it further at the bottom. I don't know.
Is there some speed on the deck?
Yeah, I think if I drop in on the wall, I'll have a better chance of actually doing something relatively cool.
Yeah.
I think that's my big thing.
We're excited to see something relatively cool for
Thanks.
sure.
Thanks. I'll definitely try my best. I'll have you guys in mind. throughout the whole day.
We will have you in mind the entire time.
That'd be
We will, in our mouths and on our minds, we'll be talking about you. The judges are right next door if you want to go talk to them about
I have to
the
have
cash
a word
situation.
with them,
Yeah, we were just talking about that. We're like, how's this going to work? We're going to hand it out 20 at a time? We're going to dip? Like, what's the basement for handing out tricks for cash?
Hopefully,
like, what's not going to be insulting?
Ooh.
Yeah, if someone's like, that was awesome, here's $5. So you're like, it's all good, keep it, babe.
Now, we do this a lot.
Deal with that.
We do tricks for cash a lot at Summer Dew Tour with Skate Street, and it's tough being the cash guy because like I want to give you $20 for that, but like, am I going to upset somebody? Are they going to be stoked? Like, what? That was only worth 20? Like, where's the line?
See, if you had Red Gerard's pants though, you could fit a lot of cash in there.
It's
$5
true.
at a time.
$5 at a time. Red Gerard has a lot of pockets. We just saw that. He likes a lot of things in his pockets.
It's possibly a ballast thing. We don't know.
It's true. But I think like a safe bet is 50. Maybe I'm being crazy, but I feel like if someone gives you $50 for something, it's kind of like, oh, word, thanks.
For sure.
No one's insulted by that.
No.
It's a little, you got to incentivize.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you want to do well.
So we're going to take a look back to today's pipe competition and take a look at some of Brendan McKay's runs here.
I mean, he really killed it. That
so good.
Switch alley-oop to switch down the pipe double was a huge combination, and then he just went so big, like so much bigger than
what
a lot of the other guys in the field. It was truly crazy.
I didn't watch that.
Yeah,
I guess it's a bit of a different angle for you guys at the bottom of the pipe after your runs are at the top, waiting for your next run.
That was so good.
It was a really good run. It really was, and he kind of had a bobble in his first run, but then he put down his second. Put down his third, but it was a little better. Put down his fourth, and it was even better.
Yeah.
And that was the run that we just saw, but it's like crazy. He's so
That was
consistent.
his fourth run?
Yeah.
Yeah, is so good.
He is really
I think he was
good.
in the mid-40s that first run, if I'm not mistaken. Then he had an 82, and then it was the 90.66, and then that last one was the 93, where he's like, and that's it, I'm done.
Yeah, it was really, really impressive skiing. And I am really excited to see whatever happens tomorrow in this super hit, huge air. Hunter Hess is the only skier that's gone for triples in the pipe.
Don't claim.
I'm not claiming. I'm just stating facts. You've tried that.
Well, it's going to be interesting, too, because I was talking to the judges
that.
about this. They're going to run ski and snowboard at the same time, so kind of a loose kind of party vibe out there.
A Yumu could probably do something remarkable. Maybe he'll do a triple.
He can do
tomorrow.
triples.
Yeah.
He did a triple here in 2019.
Yeah, that's all.
Or not 2019. I made that up.
2020.
2022.
21.
21?
What if we had the ski judges go out and give out cash to the snowboarders, and then we'll flip-flop that as well?
That's fun.
Then nobody has to worry about upsetting somebody in their own sport.
Exactly.
Hunter's
That's a good
giving
idea.
out cash to the judges.
Yeah, I'm going to be paying them to pay me. It's a full circle. If they give me money, I'll give them money.
Oh, wait, yeah, we're actually going to take a look. I just got...
Or if you want, just come in here and sit in the booth.
Yeah.
It's warm in here. There's
I got
snacks.
an
There's
alert
Mountain Dew.
from Secret Service that, yeah, we're in fact going to take a look at Ayumu's triple here.
I love it. You're embracing the
pulling it
earpiece. Listen, ask and you shall receive here at the Dew Tour. That's how it works.
I love that.
You put ideas out in the universe, and the guys in the TV truck, they don't mess around.
I'm like, I've won Dew Tour. Can we watch Mild Run? I'm just kidding. Wait, please, I don't want to.
No, please pull
I
it
actually really don't want to.
Well, we made Hunter call one of his own runs, so
Yeah.
it's only fair that we do some look backs and make you do the same.
No, we're going to look at Ayumu's triple. Nothing after that will be impressive, so please don't show my run next.
And I got to point out, they were really on with the branding that year with the green Mountain Dew colored dye lines.
Insane.
Gosh. He's the best half-pipe rider ever.
Absolutely. Was that the first time that had ever been done? Was here at Dew Tour?
In a comp.
Yeah, that was the first triple in a competition.
Yeah.
Insane. History.
That guy is so good.
It's
That's actually
really
ridiculous.
impressive.
I think he's actually from another world, a different planet.
Papa John tonight is looking for 1 flips. Ayumu just delivered 3.
He did 3. Can they triple up on the offer?
They're going to have to pony up extra cash, maybe give him like a large 2-topping pizza with that one as well.
I mean, honestly, I want that Parmesan on the bottom, pizza crust.
It's going to be
Papa
a fun
John's.
night any way you slice it, Gus.
It's just...
Oh, that was good.
I know. Pete Arneson would be happy that I got a pun in there.
All right, here we are taking a look at the course. Oh, that was pretty sick. Kind of alley-oop.
Is this right now?
But this is practice. It's warm-up, Mixmaster Mike's still doing his thing out there, so...
Colby Stevenson is such a technician. Like, everything he does is so locked in. I'm definitely excited to see what he has to say with this course, what he's going to do with it. Let's go.
I think he'll take it in a pretty creative direction compared to a lot of the other people. I think we'll see a lot of like backslides and different variations that he'll put down, if you will.
I mean, also one thing I love is just how fast it is. The features are close together. It's like a almost like feels like a skate park, kind of. Like everything's really, really linked together. And I talked to the judges a little bit because I was curious if they were going to be judging it more like a rail jam versus a slopestyle contest, because I feel like, at least in my experience doing rail jams and stuff as a kid, it's like the best, craziest trick wins. Like that's how a rail jam goes. They want to see something insane. But the judges informed me that they are going to be judging it more like a slopestyle event where all the features are in a row, so it's going to be taken into consideration overall impression, spinning in multiple directions, mirroring tricks, showing a lot of variety as well as just technicality.
It's kind of crazy too, because for the people watching at home, we haven't gotten into it yet. When the comp starts, it's kind of a format change in the middle. So we break them up into heats, and it's your best run, and it's the top 2 out of each heat. But then when you get into the next round and it's head to head, you only get 2 runs, and it's the overall impression of those 2 runs combined. So there is no room for error.
Yeah, and it's a knockout. So if for example, Alex Hall wins his heat and he's up against Colby Stevenson from heat 3, those 2 guys are going head to head and it's a knockout. So it's going to be intense. We're here for the drama, mama.
Well, I'm being told in the Secret Service earpiece that we're about 5 minutes out from getting this competition started. I don't mean to kick you out of the booth. I mean, you could stay here as long as you want, but
I don't care.
We're getting ready to get this party started here, and we're going to see how this all shakes out here in men's ski street style out here. Right now, we're going to take a look back at how this event went down in 2021.
We're underway at the men's ski street style final. Here we go. Backside 360 switch up from A-Hall. Canadian Max Moffat, backside switch up. The switch 270 on transfer. Alex Hall.
It is non-stop action here.
Gapping with a huge backside 360 switch up. Good grief. Oh, there's the back 8 from A-Hall. Oh my gosh. He's coming in, switch 450 onto the down rail. Copper Mountain makes some noise for these guys. Tucker Fitzsimons going for the win and best trick out here. And his speed, backside 540 switch up and he lands it. Good grief, Max Moffat. Woo, what a great show. That's awesome.
We're at dewtour, Copper 2023. We're doing the, what's it called? The modified
Super Street Style.
Super Street Style.
I think. Yeah, starting at the top, you got 3 down rail options. On the left, you have the waterfall rail. In the middle, you have up rail to down rail, a little pole jam, and then just a regular down rail on the right.
Some scary stuff, but I think it'll be fun to try some of it out.
Yeah, the long down rail on the far right is definitely a favorite here. This thing's like 50 feet long almost. Yeah, for the bottom section, you got the big wall ride feature on the left. It's got like a pole jam option up to the top of the wall ride. Gonna be really sick.
It's gonna be dope, man. I'm hyped for Saturday night. Crowd's gonna be crazy.
Everyone's gonna be going ham, trying crazy tricks.
Yeah, the vibe's gonna be on.
Yeah.
That evening style.
Saturday night, main event.
Yup. I'm hyped for it.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. We've been teasing it. We've been talking about it. We are ready to kick the tires and light the fires out here. It is the men's ski super street style round number 1 here. So a slightly different format change than what we've seen here in the past out here at the dewtour, as we were talking about earlier, breaking these guys up into heats. And the street course this year, it kind of gets a little bit of a tune-up, if you will. It's still a packed house out here at Copper Mountain, as I mentioned before, celebrating its 50th year, as you see by that sign right there etched into the snow. Hats off to the SPT crew in conjunction with the Woodward crew putting together this epic course out here. Now, this thing's kind of evolved over the years. We used to do this in downtown Breck, and then we moved here to Copper for the dewtour, and we kind of had a smaller area down here at the base of the village, and everybody there was a couple of elements, and you kind of had to hike back up the mountain to get to your next run. Now you have 4 different sections, 4 different paths, if you will, with a lot of different elements to choose from, Gus.
Yeah, it has really changed. I mean, to think that it's actually the same event from back in the day in Breckenridge is crazy to me, because that was really just a rail jam. There was a couple of features, people hucking, and it was all for the crowd. And this is absolutely for the crowd as well, but this is a real competition. We've got 4 sets of rails. I think we're going to see people putting together really thoughtful runs, creative execution in terms of which features they're going to hit. I think we're going to see a lot of creativity and then a lot of variety in tricks and difficulty.
So we got a pre-runner to get us started out here. We got our forerunner, if you will. This is this youngster is Walker Woodring, who's going to get the party started for us out here tonight. And that's kind of a cool thing for a young skier to get out here and rubbing elbows with the pros and get out there and do this under the lights in front of all the fans out here. Just 12 years old, Gus.
It's amazing. It's so cool to see the next generation in snowboard pipe. We saw an 11-year-old today putting down a hammer's run, and here we are seeing Walker do just the same.
So there you go by that shot right there. It kind of gives you a little bit of a snippet of the different options that you're going to have out here. And, one of the interesting things that you and Hunter were talking about earlier, like, it kind of links up almost like a skate park kind of a run right there. You don't have a lot of room to set up because it's a fast running course from what it looked like from what we saw on the women's snowboard event earlier tonight. So you don't really have a lot of setup time in between each one of these pads.
Yeah, it is really quick. There is not a lot of room for error. You have got to be on your game, landing everything perfectly in order to be lined up for the next feature.
So we started off here taking a look at heat number 1, 12 athletes in the field. We break them up into 3 heats of 4. It's a slightly different format from what we ran in 2021. We'll dive deeper into that in a second, but you saw the names right there: Alex Hall, Sam Zahner, Keegan Kilbride, and Danny Bacher. So 3 USA skiers and 1 representing Austria out here. So they're going to run in that order. They're going to get 3 runs here, and it's only the top 2 that move out of each heat into the knockout round as we take our first look at Alex Hall.
Oh, both transfers on that rail. That's super difficult. Coming into a switch lip slide 270, continuing 450 out, and then spinning. Oh, but starting to spin the opposite direction.
So again, you're going to get 3 rounds at it. It's the best run that counts. Judges are working off a 100-point scale. So Alex Hall, he was the winner of the Steel City Showdown in 2020. Won dewtour Streetstyle in 2020 as well.
Yeah, Alex is definitely one of the guys I'm the most excited to watch. He's so technical. He's such a dominant force in slopestyle skiing, such a consistent podium threat. But he really is just a strong rail skier, so I'm excited to see what he does on this course.
So what is it going to be here for that first run score there? And he's going to check in with a 51.33. Again, judges working off that 100-point scale. Got Sam Zahner from New Jersey coming up next. So again, this is heat 1 out of 3. Top 2 out of each heat moving on into the knockout round. And there, well, the strategy changes up a little bit because you only get 2 runs in the knockout round, and both of them have to count. So you really don't have the luxury of a throwaway run. So that was, I believe that was Xander that actually, Sam that dropped in, ran a little hot right there, so we didn't get to see his run.
We're getting a replay of it now, though. Switch 450 onto that down rail. That is a technical trick. Backside 360 switch up onto that corrugated tube. And then, wow, didn't put it together, but that was amazing. Frontside 360 switch up transfer. I don't even know what to call that.
So just kind of getting augered in a little bit at the end of that one. You see him looking up at the video wall right there, shrugging his shoulders. Okay, Sam, you get 3 shots at it right there. In this round, it's just about being one of the top 2, and it's your best run that counts. Coming up next, we got Keegan Kilbride. He took first place in street style here at the dewtour in 2017, back when it was in downtown Breck.
And adding a lot of little flavor. That switch lip slide 270, he kept the tips down. That makes it more difficult, and it's just kind of a cool, unique way to do that trick. Transferring the cannon rail up onto the top of that wall ride. I think not necessarily super technical with the tricks, but really creative and difficult line that he chose.
Definitely had a speed line. He kind of ran through that thing super fast compared to the last 2 runs that we saw right there. Go back up top and take another look here.
I think that was, I love that switch nose down 270. I think it was a smart strategy. This is the same way we saw guys in halfpipe today kind of put down runs and then try and build upon them. I think that's a similar strategy that Keegan just did. He put down a clean run. It was super fast, not maybe the most technical run that he could possibly do, but gets a run down and gets a score down.
That cannon rail just kind of spits you out onto that wall right there. So he's going to check in with a 45 flat. So that'll put him just behind Alex Hall for now. Remember, top 2 moving on out of the heat. This is round 1 out of 3 here. Our first heat of 3 that we're going to see. This is our Austrian skier. Very technical and known for his style. Competed in the Beijing Olympics for Austria.
A couple of Olympians in this field. He's not there. I don't know if that was a mistake or if that was intentional coming off in between those rails. But definitely a creative approach to the course. Oh. I would guess by that reaction that it was a mistake.
That's all right. That's why we have an edit button in TV world right there. And you know what? Guess what, Danny? You get 2 more runs. And it's the best run that counts.
Yes, let's see what happened here. Yeah, I just think he just overshot that a little bit. I wasn't sure if maybe that was intentional for a second, but with the second view, you can see that it was a mistake. But yeah, he's got 2 more. Plenty of opportunity to clean up.
Yeah,
but it's a good score down.
The job here in this first round, you're just trying to be one of the top 2 out of your heat. Then you gotta white knuckle it through the next round right there when it's your 2 runs that have to count together as overall impression. So round 1 out of 3 is in the books, and it's Alex Hall sitting in that top spot right now with a 51.33, and Keegan Kilbride not too far behind him with a 45. Still up for grabs here again. Top 2 transfer on, taking another look at Mr. Hall.
And again, it's just the one best run that counts. Alex Hall with the double transfer. I love that. That is so cool and creative. Switch to lip 270, back 450, and then coming into this last rail where he had trouble last time. He doesn't this time. Switch on, frontside switch up, pretzel 270 out.
Just building blocks right there. Calm, cool, and collected here in run number 2. Clean it up, looking to bypass that 51.33. Trying to assure himself a spot into that next round. The trifecta right there. Hitting 3 features on that pad.
Just looking super solid. A much cleaner run than the first one. I mean, he's already in first position with that first run score, and this is definitely going to be an improvement, so distance himself from the pack.
That last rail right there, that one just kind of, get that weird little level off spot, and it just kind of spits you out a little bit there at the end of that one. So what is it going to be? Up into the 80s, a massive 30-point improvement right there for Alex Hall at 81.33. So that will definitely help your cause, separating yourself from the rest of the pack. We bring Sam, he's down, he's at the bottom of the pack right there. He had that 22.66, had a fall off that last feature in his first attempt.
Right side 270 to switch, into a switch right side 450. Also spinning to the right on that one. I do love that frontside 360 switch up at the bottom there on that transfer feature. Super cool, super technical. Not as much variety as we saw from Alex in terms of spinning multiple different directions, but it was a really, really solid run.
So you see how much this moves him up the food chain here. You just need better than a 45 right now if you're going to move into that second transfer spot out of this heat. So that was the last feature that gave him a little bit of trouble there in run number 1. So getting past it here in round number 2 out of 3.
Yeah, it's going to be a big improvement.
Definitely get him out of the basement there with that 22.66. You got Keegan Kilbride, who's coming up next, by the way, sitting in that number 2 spot. We'll get that score for you here in just a second. Sam's going to jump up with a 79 flat. He will overtake Keegan, so this is his chance to answer back here.
Oh!
And just losing the shoes at the end of that one there.
Yeah, that was a good clean run going. I got distracted seeing Sam's score come in.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
A lot of moving parts.
It's really a fast-paced event. there with Keegan again with the switch tails down 270. Or sorry, switch noses down 270. Into the 450 backside 270 out. A big transfer there. And then going into this backside switch up, frontside 270 out, which was looking really good until they lost that ski at the end. Unfortunately, if I know how the judges go, that is not going to count.
I was just about to ask you. So he gets off the feature, but then the skis come off. So now,
yeah, he's going to check in with a.
So he's going to stick 23. He's got one more run, so he got overtaken by Sam, who had a 79 flat there. So Sam's knocking on the door of the 80. So Keegan's going to get one more chance to try to answer back there. Again, top 2 out of each one of these heats move on into the next round. So we get set to take another look at our lone Austrian competitor.
He's all smiles at the top. And as he should be. This is a fun event. This is a crowd-pleasing event, but it's also just a fun one. I mean, everyone hits rails in the park with their friends, like getting to compete out here, hitting all these rail features. It's just a good time.
Well, that's just, that's kind of how this thing's evolved over the years. Like when this thing first started out, when they were Breckenridge and they had some features in downtown Breck, and just to watch how this thing has stepped up each and every. Oh, we talked about flips for cash earlier. There we go. We got our first flip.
There we go. I mean,
what was the prize you said that was up for grabs on that one?
I could be misquoted. Someone said it was $3,500. I don't know if that's the case. $2,500 maybe. Either way, Papa John is.
Someone's going to text me in a second. I'll get an answer to that shortly.
Yeah.
Either way,
John is smiling.
I crushed you.
Yes.
See, there's my second pizza pun of the night.
Very good.
I'm just trying to make people laugh at home. And the texts are coming in. Here we go. $2,500.
$2,500. So as of now, he is the only guy that's done a flip. So unless anybody else decides to do one, that $2,500 could be his.
So now we're getting into the third and final runs here. He's not going to best that score. However, he's potentially looking at $2,500 for now. And you had mentioned earlier, like you didn't know if the word had spread through the field, but they're getting our feed out there, so I guess they're hearing about it now. Taking a look at our current leader, who's also first in the start list here. Third and final round here for heat number 1 out of 3. It's Alex Hall.
I do think he's going to try and step up here a little bit, but I also think there's some kind of a strategy moving forward because you have multiple more heats, so you got to keep something in the tank and save something for later. But again, looking super consistent, super smooth. Oh, tried to step up the last trick a little bit loose coming out of it. I don't know if it'll be an improvement on the score, but.
Well, it's also a little bit of strategy as well, because if you finish top spot in your heat, you go up against the second place finisher in another heat. For example, here with heat 1, if Alex finishes in that top spot, he'll go up against whoever finishes number 2 in heat number 2. So a little bit of strategy going into that next round.
For sure.
Now that's a little bit of a wordy explanation, but that's okay. We'll talk you through it as we roll through this competition out here tonight.
Yeah, I think that'll come into play even more, too, with the second and third heats, because they'll know who they would be potentially facing. Right now, I think Alex is just trying to mix it up, do a couple different tricks, try out some variations on that last feature.
He's kind of eyeing something else up for that next round because, again, you can't stress this enough. You're going to need 2 runs. It's the overall impression of your 2 runs, and that's all you get when you go into that head-to-head knockout round right there. So he had an 81.33 the first go-around, or second go-around, I should say. Now he ends up with a 78, so sticking with that second run score, so
3 guys left to go, so we'll have to see if that 81.33 will hold up for them, for Alex, but solid performance from him, and yeah, 3 more runs to go.
Solid performance going on the stage over there. Mixmaster Mike and the crew. Look how many people are still sticking around out here. There was a mass exodus earlier, once the riding time was over, but there's still a lot of people out here in the mountain joining us for this party out here tonight.
Absolutely. And these guys love it. They love skiing with this crowd. They feed off of it. Coming into this last feature for Sam, he's had some trouble on his previous runs. And again, a little bit of an issue, but he's currently sitting in the second position, so.
Yeah, the separation right now between him and Keegan, he's got a 79 for his best run score, and then Keegan's got a 45. Let's see, Keegan's coming up next, then we've got Danny to take us out of here at heat number 1. Still 2 more heats of 4 skiers each to go for those of you that are just joining us. It is standing room only out here. The crowd grows every year out here at Copper as well. I mean, all the street style events that we've done here, the history of dewtour, it just gets bigger and better every year. And I mean, the energy out there, we fire up the lights. It's a party out here on the mountain. So Keegan's got a 45 as his best run. He's got a best of 79 right now. It's do or die time right now for Keegan Kilbride.
450 on, 270 out, just kind of clipping that rail a little bit, but he's coming into the last feature. He just needs to keep it together. He had the issue with his ski on the last run, and there it is. He does it. He puts it down. It's going to be a big improvement. Whether or not it'll be enough to overtake Sam, who knows, but he's got to feel good about just putting one to his feet.
Let's take another look here at his third and final attempt with one skier left to go here in heat number 1. Quick little replay right there, looking like we're getting somebody's onboard cam right there. Still waiting on that third run score here for Keegan. Is it going to be enough? He gets a 73. It's going to be so close, but not enough. He is not going to be able to overtake Sam. So now we know Alex Hall is safe. He's moving on into that next round, the head-to-head knockout round, if you will. Sam's on that bubble, sitting with that second spot with one skier left to go.
Getting hyped up at the top. Got some music playing, got a hype man.
You know, he's already looking at possibly $2,500 courtesy of our friends over at Papa John's.
That's true.
Can he go for the two for here and put himself in one of those top 2 transfer spots?
Coming off the rail a little early, but saved it pretty well. And then a frontside. Oh, I love that last trick. Frontside switch up, transfer, and then another switch up to the flat part at the bottom. Backside 270 out.
So crazy too. Like, you just end up in the snow fence right there, and the fans are right there. Like, you finish your run, and everybody's out there high-fiving you and hugging you and shaking you.
Yeah, so you can see him slip off the rail there a little early. He did a pretty good job of saving it, but
put a little steez into that save right there, yeah, for good measure.
For sure, and then the backslide on that last rail, and then I love that front swap back 2. Really a technical trick on that last rail, but I think with the mistake up top, it's not going to be enough to move him into the top 2. But I could be wrong.
That's why you're in that chair. You get to walk that plank.
Yeah, I've been wrong before.
People want to hear your expert opinion, and a 69, so it is going to be 10 points shy of getting the job done. So Sam Zahner is safe, and he will move on. He will get that second and final transfer spot. So Alex Hall, he will go up against whoever finishes second place at heat number 2. And I believe that means Sam's going to have to square off against whoever comes out top honors of heat number 3. So we still have 2 more heats to go. We are a third of the way through the equation out here for round number 1. It's Alex Hall and Sam Zahner getting it done here with an 81.33 and a 79 flat. We'll have more when we come back to dewtour Copper Mountain 2023. I guess we're going to get some replays here, taking a look at some of the action in heat number 1. I spoke too soon.
Bold-faced cow today. Get those boots laced. Let's go.
I've just never really done it, so it's really fun to get out here and experience something new.
Dropping in 3, 2, 1. Blast off!
Check it out. Imagine how much Mountain Dew is in there.
Probably drink these fast.
Copper, kind of a big deal since 1972. Here's to 50 years of the best terrain. For starting small and dreaming big. Here's to challenge and growth, memories and milestones. This is where athletes are made. The Athletes Mountain since 1972. Get after it.
The sausage, eggs on the croissant roll.
Amazing.
Nice and fluffy, the croissant.
Welcome back, everyone. Dewtour Copper Mountain 2023. It's a party out here under the lights on a Saturday night. Taking a look at DJ Mixmaster Mike out there, keeping the party vibe going out here on this epic Saturday evening. Our first day of 2 here. Competition out here for Dewtour this season. Copper Mountain celebrating its 50th year anniversary. And it is a packed house out here just outside the Streetstyle course. And the action just heating up here in Men's Ski Super Street Style round at number 1. We got Heat 1 in the books. Here we go with our second group of 4. You got Tucker Fitzsimons, Matt Dufresne, Andrew Egan, and Pete Kukoff. Again, 3 runs, best run counts, top 2 transfer on into the next round.
Starting out strong with the right side 270, pretzel 270, and then spinning left side 450, keeping it forward. Hitting the big rail there, and then a switch 270, pretzel 270, and last flat down rail. Just a clean run right out of the gate.
Yeah, I mean, the hits come quick right there. Just right out commercial break, and we're back into it. So this is round 1 out of 3. Our top 2 out of each one of these heats move on into the head-to-head knockout round, if you will. And then our top 3 out of that will move on into a 3-skier final. So we take a look at Tucker's first attempt at 3.
Choosing a different line than we saw from some of the guys in the first heat, which is always fun to see. And Tucker's got a big a fan group at the bottom, a lot of cutouts.
You know, it's part of the vibe out here. It's just like some of the signs and the things that the fans will bring out to these events. 81.66. So starting it off right there into Alex Hall score territory right there. So heat number 2, not messing around here. We're already into the 80s as we welcome in Canada's Matt Dufresne.
There we have a right side lip slide 270. Looking really clean. The left side 270, potentially coming off the rail a tiny bit early, but love that last trick. That's a big front side switch up, blind side 450 out on that transfer to the wall ride feature.
He seems pretty pleased with that one there.
I think he should be.
Rightly so.
So there's the lip 2 to switch. And then he went switch left side 270, back side 270 out. Left side 270, so he's done both way 270s and then the big front side switch up onto the top of the wall here, continuing 450 out.
So again, working off of a 100-point scale out here tonight. For those of you who may just be joining us, 74.33 right there from Matt on the first outing there. Again, you get 3 cracks at it. Best run counts here in this opening round. That's going to change up when we get into the next round. We'll dive into that again a little bit later on as we get set to welcome in Andrew Egan.
These guys are looking really solid. Switch tails 270. Oh, and then we have the 2 on front 4 out. Also opting for that longer rail feature, but potentially coming off it just a tiny bit early. Looking solid though, keeping it together. And as we said, it's a 1-run best run count, so even if that's not the score he's looking for, he's got 2 more opportunities to try and better it.
Yeah, just maybe kind of eyeing things up, waiting to see how the scores are looking, how the judges are feeling here in this opening round of 3 for this group.
Yeah, and that was a switch right side 270 at the top, and then he added in a switch left side 270 at the bottom. So spinning both ways, showing that variation, that versatility that the judges love to see.
It's all about variety out here tonight. You got a lot of options out here. Super street style here for Copper 2023 dewtour. What is it going to be here for Andrew for his first run score? So a 61. So that is not going to be enough here in this opening round to put him into the top 2.
Yeah, it was a solid run. I think it was just that bobble on that long down rail, just coming off a little bit early, I think is really going to cost you, especially if you're making the decision to take that long rail and put that in your run, and you got to get to the end of it.
It's tough. I mean, not each one of these heats, you're basically cutting, or we're cutting the field in half as we take our first look here at Pete Kukoff.
Right side 270 to a backslide on that. Single leg kind of 50-50 on that. That's a creative use of the course, and then a 360 out of the wall ride.
I haven't really seen anybody use that approach to that feature right there yet. So a little bit of creativity, some uniqueness right there out of Pete.
Yeah, I don't think it had quite the technicality that some of the other runs did, but it was definitely a more creative approach than we've seen from some of the previous runs.
It's one of the things he's kind of known for, that unique skate style. As we go back up to take a look at the top of the run here.
Yeah, each and every feature, nothing was just a traditional trick. Everything was a kind of a unique spin on it, a different approach to the course. Kind of like the line traveling circus guys, 50-50 down that and then coming up into the wall. Just trying to do something different.
It's a lengthy rail to be doing that on as well. And I mean, with so many different features out here, he gets a 57.33. So that's round 1 in the books. We're getting ready to go back up to the top and do this all over again. It's 3 rounds here in each one of these individual heats. So at the top of the start list, take another look at Tucker Fitzsimons, who happens to be your current leader with that 81.66.
Oh wow, and stepping it up on the second run already. Right side 270, pretzel 450. It's a super technical trick. And then finishing with 450 to forward.
So 2 solid runs here for Tucker.
Yeah, I mean, more technical at the top and actually more technical at the bottom, but if I was going to point out one little thing, it's just that same long down rail that he's opting for. Just potentially came off of it a touch early, which, not to be so nitpicky, but it does seem to be costing these guys.
You know, it's the story that you have to tell, because, I mean, that's some of the discussions that are happening in the judges' booth and why we see these scores come out the way they do.
Yeah. Top 2 rails were looking really good, and then here on that big lip slide disaster, maybe coming off early, but, you know, he still got to the landing, so it might be a count. They might count it.
He's got his own little cheering section right there. What if people are actually bringing those, or if those if they're
and
passing
it's an
those
improvement.
Out, bumping him up 2 full points right there. So he had an 81.66. Now he's got an 83.66. So I guess here in round 2, the name of the game for Tucker is breathing room. Because only the top 2 are transferring on. Taking a look once again at Matt Dufresne, currently sits in that second and final transfer spot for now.
That right side lip slide 270 to switch was super clean. Into the switch left side 270, continuing to out. Keeping it kind of stock there, the left side 270, and then switch up on top of that wall ride again. Doing the super fed, the front side switch up, blind 450 out, putting it down again, another clean run. I think it's going to be a similar score. But he's solidly in second place in this heat right now.
So at the halfway point of round 2 out of 3 here for our second group of 3. Take one more look at it here from top to bottom.
And then here on this last feature, hitting that kind of pole jam up to the top of the wall, front side switch up, continuing 450 out. A bit of a heavy landing. Might not have been as smooth as the run before. He was really, really clean that previous run too. But another good run.
Just waiting for it. So a 76.33. So he
Slight
too will
improvement.
bump up a couple of points right there. So again, you're just trying to get out of these opening heats. It's only the top 2 spots that are moving on.
Andrew Egan is dropping in. So switch tails 270, continuing 270 out, spinning to the right. And there's a left side 270, continuing 450 out. There's that long down rail that gave him a little bit of trouble last time. And there, the switch left to backslide to switch. So that's definitely going to be an improvement from his previous run.
So you're looking at better than a 76.33 as of now if you're trying to bump ahead here, ahead of Matt.
Yeah, one thing I really do appreciate about the run is that he has the switch tails 2 spinning to the right, and then down at the bottom he does it to the left. It's just nice to see people doing something both ways, showing their ambidexterosity. Ambidextrousness?
Are we making it?
I don't know.
See if we can get a text from the Webster's people. See if we can get that one in the dictionary right there. What's it going to be on the score here? He had a 61 the first go around, so a 71.33. So he's getting close.
Yeah, it's an improvement.
It's not going to be good enough there for now, but he's still got one more run to come here. We have one skier left in the lineup here. Then we get the third and final round. Big shout out to Mix Master Mike, keeping the crowd pumped up out there. I believe he just wrapped up his set out there on the music stage. We get set to take a look at our second run here for Pete.
And again, Pete is the guy that's kind of using this course in a different way, getting the backslide there, and then here kind of going around one of the features. Going around one of the features, doing that 50-50 on that rail, and coming up to the wall ride from the side.
Okay, so again, getting unique there off of that wall ride feature there.
Yeah, I thought maybe we were going to see for a flip for a second. I thought Papa John's ears were burning.
I think everyone's just kind of forgotten about that $2,500. Danny's looking pretty good there from heat number 1 for right now, as we have not seen anyone else really try it. I guess that would count.
Yeah, guys in the competition, if you mess up at the top, do a cool flip at the bottom. Go for that cash prize. Get yourself a pizza that action.
Oh, you are on the board with pizza puns. Here comes another text from Pete Arneson. I could feel it. It's coming right now. He's grading us on our pizza puns out here tonight.
Hey.
I don't know if we can topping that one. That was a pretty good one.
Hey, thank you.
We're getting a little cheesy out here tonight, but that's how we do it. Getting ready to go back up to the top. You ordered here.
Here we are, and Tucker is in the lead. He's improved his score, and now he's just going to put some extra sauce on it.
Oh, here we go.
Right side 270, pretzel 450, into the switch left side 270, continuing 2. Same as from the last run. Not quite as good on that rail as previous, but then getting the pretzel 270 on that 450 disaster. So be curious to see what the judges do. I don't know if it was quite as strong as his last run.
Yeah, he came out swinging there. He had an 81.66 and an 83.66, so he's looking pretty solid here. Again, in this opening round, you're just trying to get out of this first heat, or excuse me, be one of the 2 out of these heats to get into the head-to-head round, if you will.
Yeah, he has done what he needed to do. He came out, he put down a good score, he stepped that score up, and I think that he's probably feeling a little bit comfortable and confident knowing that he's probably going to be through into that next round where he'll then have to face off against one of our other winners. But yeah, I just don't think with that rail right there, that mistake, that it's going to be an improvement.
Yeah, if he stays in that number 1 spot coming out of this heat, he's going to square up with whoever finishes number 2 out of heat number 3. And then whoever finishes second in this heat is going to have to go head-to-head in the next round against Alex All, who was the top scorer out of heat 1. So yeah, that's going to be his lowest of the 3. But again, 2 scores in the 80s there to open it up. So he's looking pretty solid with only 3 skiers left to go here in heat number 2. Still one more heat coming up for those of you just logging on. Taking another look at Matt Dufresne. Sits in that second transfer spot.
Yeah, he's in 3rd place on the outside looking in. Big transfer there coming to this last feature, 270 disaster. So keeping it smooth. I don't know how to judge this. He definitely had some technical elements. I think that big transfer was really cool. But then some of the tricks were maybe a little more subdued than I don't know, than the current leaderboard.
It's tough too. I mean, they got their work cut out for them in the next room because it's all happening so fast.
And And if I'm not mistaken, I think that was a right side 270 there and at the top. So I don't know if that repeat direction is going to work against him.
So it is going to bump him up. So he bumped up 2 points the last go around. He does it again. So 78.33. So giving himself a little more separation there between the last two guys in the run order here. They are down, but they are not out. Remember, it is best run that counts. This is our third and final look here at Andrew Egan here in heat number 2 of 3.
Switch tails 270, continuing 270 out. Into the left side 2, continuing 4. Looking smooth, consistent with what we've seen from the previous runs. Getting the entire rail that time. And then a switch 270, backslide 270 out.
Getting a reaction from the crowd.
Yeah, the crowd loves
snow
it.
shower as well. It's the price you pay when you're in the front row.
For sure, that's what they're there for.
It's all part of the experience.
Switch right side 270. Here he's spinning to the left, 2 on, 4 out. And then at the very bottom, that last switch 270 we saw was in the other direction. It wasn't a perfect landing. He kind of squeaked it around, but a really technical trick. And if I'm going to point something out, I guess I would say that his switch 270s at the top and the bottom are in opposite directions from one another, which is really difficult. But I'm pretty sure that Matt Dufresne's were both to the right, but I could be wrong.
So here we go, waiting for the big reveal here. So we got Pete Kukoff is already on course. So this will be our final rider here for heat number 4, or heat number 2, run number 3, I should say. Going for that wall ride again.
Yeah, he was going for it. Doing kind of a cork 7 out of the wall. Unfortunately not quite getting it to his feet, but we love to see it. We respect the send.
Still don't see a score up there for Egan on the scoreboard there. That one still hadn't populated yet as Pete dropped in for that last attempt. So it looks like Andrew Egan did actually eclipse Matt Dufresne there and slid into that second and final spot into the next round with a 79.66. We didn't see that score populate because then Pete popped up for his last run. So Andrew Egan is going to get that second transfer spot and move on into the head-to-head knockout round, but it's Tucker Fitzsimons coming out top dog here. Speaking of that, let's check in with Chris Cote, who's down there with Tucker right now.
Yo, I went to a party and a ski contest broke out. That was sick. Here's the real Tucker right here. Congratulations. I mean, how good was that to come down this hill with all these people right here, Mixmaster Mike's on the stage? That must have been a magical moment.
Yeah, it felt great. I was super stoked to lace my first one, then the pressure just kind of off for the rest of them. So yeah, stoked to make it to the next round.
Switching anything up for the head-to-heads or going straight forward?
I might switch up a couple of things, but I don't know, kind of stick to what I know though.
All right, let's hear it. Tucker! It's on.
Yeah, he came out swinging with an 81.66 and then bumped that up with an 83.66. And again, it's key with the strategy here. You come out the top person from your heat, you go up against number 2 from the following heat. So a little bit of strategizing there when you go into the head-to-head knockout rounds, Gus.
Absolutely. We're back up to the top. This is the third and final heat. These guys have all got 3 runs to try and get themselves into that next head-to-head round. We've got Colby Stevenson, Cal Carson, Edouard Theriault,
and then Calvin Barrett.
Thank you for jumping in. Did I butcher that last name?
Listen, I have no room to talk because I've had many of those over the years. Yeah, so again, 3 runs, best run that counts here. Top 2 moving on. Who's moving on to the head-to-head round? And it's, again, we keep talking about how it changes from round to round. In that next round, when it's head-to-head, you only get 2 runs, but you have to have it's your 2 runs combined for the overall impression. So things change up. And here we go, starting off heat number 3. It's our first look at Colby Stevenson.
Loved that trick. Switch 270, pretzel 450 on that waterfall drop feature. another switch 270, and then a frontside switch up, continuing 450 out on that transfer. I'll have to watch the replay. I can't tell if those are both switch 270s to the same direction or if they were different ways, but that was a very cool first feature.
I thought we were going to commercial break. I was like, oh no, we're going right up the top. We're getting right into this. I like it. Let's keep it rolling.
Switch left 270, pretzel 450 there. Here we got the big backside 360 switch up, not quite locking into the second rail as much as he wanted to. And then another switch left 270, which I think might have been a bobble. I feel like maybe because he messed up the transfer, he sort of ad-libbed that switch left 270, but that last transfer was super solid.
So he's going to check in with an 82.66, so picking up pretty much where we left off with heat number 2 right there. So not a bad way to start right there. It's the 80s have been enough to get you on into that next round from what we've seen out of that first 2 groups there. So bringing in Cal Carson, well-known park and urban terrain skier. He's one of the finalists at the Tom Walsh Steel City Showdown back in 2020.
Super solid, switch 270 on, 270 out. He's doing the big gap on that rail, but potentially sliding off early. That rail seems to be giving people trouble. But then we got the 450 disaster with the pretzel 270 out. Putting it down. Yeah, it was a solid run.
And again, that's everyone still partying down there at the end of the course. There's so many people packed on this mountain out here tonight under the lights as we take another look.
Yeah, I can't tell if he slid off early there or if he was just kind of out on the noses of his skis. But he got it back together for the last rail, the 450 pretzel 270.
Okay, so 2 down, 2 to go here in round 1 out of 3. That's going to net him a 66.33. Again, 3 runs here. Best run that counts. Top 2 transfer on into the next round. Out of Canada, this is Edouard Theriault, set to drop.
Starting out smooth. Switch lip slide, back 270 out, and just kind of keeping his speed, keeping his line. Right 270 on, 270 off. And then switch on, going across the transfer, and then doing a backside 450 out on that final feature. It was a solid run. I know there's no jumps in this course, but I love this guy's tail grab. He has a really good blunt.
Man, that thing's just crazy looking. The way that thing just launches you out at the end of that feature right there. See him putting the hands together right there. Big smile on his face at the end of that one as we take it back up top for a second look.
Right side 270 on, continuing. And then coming to this last feature, which was really a cool take on it. Switch on, going across the transfer, and then blindside 450 out.
Yeah, that thing kind of like boots you off at the end.
Yeah, they call it a death kink. It's just a really intense kink.
It hurts my knees and ankles just to watch that right there. So a 73.33 right there for Edouard. That'll put him in a transfer spot right there. So rounding out the order here for the lineup in heat number 3, it's our first look at Calvin Barrett. So right now you need a 73 point, or better than a 73.33 if you're hoping to transfer on out of this group.
Left side lip slide 270. There he goes.
Getting the up close and personal view there.
Losing a little bit of his speed, but coming into this last feature, hopefully he can still put something down. Switch lip on, front 2. Not quite the run he was looking for, but he's a local boy getting some love from the crowd, and yeah, he'll look to the next one.
2 more runs still to go. It's best run that counts.
And after the first run, we are looking at Colby Stevenson in that top spot, followed by Edouard Theriault, and then Cal Carson and Calvin Barrett.
Yeah, that 48.33, looking to toss that one out, so we get ready to go back up to the top, do it all over again in that same order. Colby Stevenson, Cal Carson, Edouard Theriault, and Calvin Barrett. So best run that counts. Whoever comes out in the top spot here is going to go up against our second place finisher from heat number 1. We take another look at Colby Stevenson.
It's definitely my favorite trick that's been done. And I was right. There was a mistake because he was intending to be coming into this forward. There's the right side 450 onto that rail, and then switch on going across the transfer, pretzel 270. That is going to be a huge score. That first run score that he had of an 82.66 was also a great run, great score, but I was surprised because there was 2 switched left side 270s, and I know that Colby is someone that really thinks about his runs, and he's trying to check off all these boxes and spin in every direction. And so here we get to see what he was really intending for. Switch left side 270, pretzel 450. Here we've got the big backside 360 switch up on the transfer, continuing 270 out into the right side 450. So much technicality on these rails. And then ends it there with a switch on, front swap over the transfer, continuing 4 out. It's just a really, really solid run. I think that's going to be the biggest score we've seen.
So an 86.66. So you called it right there. I was going to say that first run score that he had from what we've seen out of the first 2 groups, that would have been enough, or it has been enough thus far from what we've seen to get into the next round. So again, Colby Stevenson cementing that lead, giving himself some more breathing room. Cal Carson sits just on the outside looking. He's at number 3 spot with a 66.33 for now.
Oh my God. Switch 270 continuing 630 out. There's the left 4 continuing 2, spinning like a top. There's the front swap, pretzel 270. Temporary tornado of a run.
The T squared.
Yeah, that was really impressive. I was truly not expecting that 630 out of that rail. That caught me by surprise. Just the lip right side 270 to switch. And then here we see the switch 270 and then just wrapping up a 630 out of it. And continuing that momentum, there's the left 4 back 2, putting a hand down but keeping it together. And the front swap pretzel 2 on the last rail.
Okay, so where's this going to put him in the mix? He had that 66.33 in the first run, so it'll bump him up a little bit, but still not enough to overtake that number 2 transfer spot. So it's going to come down to that 3rd and final run for him. Currently sitting in that 2nd and final transfer spot, it's Edward Terrio with that 73.33.
Yeah, and I think it was just a clean run. Edwards was super, super smooth. That last run was really technical, but just a little bit loose. There's the switch, tails 270 to forward, left 270 on, continuing 4 out. Now spinning to the right. There's the right side 270, continuing 2 out, and coming into this last transfer. Again, the switch on, nose over transfer, blindside 450 out. Super smooth, probably a bit better than his last run. I think we're going to see a slight improvement.
Trying to give himself a little bit of breathing room as well, because we still have Calvin Barrett yet to go in this round, and then everyone's going to get one more crack at it here.
And really just kind of nailing all of these tricks. They're all executed super, super well, which the judges do want to see, and I think that is the difference. That's what's keeping him in that 2nd place position. It's just really well executed.
So he's going to bump up 4 points right there with a 77.33. So again, trying to give himself some additional separation right there. As we move on to Calvin Barrett here, sitting at the bottom of the pack right now with a 48.33.
There's the lip slide 270 on that top rail, keeping it smooth. The broken grind, backside 270 out, that's a unique take on that rail. There's the left side 270 on, continuing out, so kind of mirroring the rotation from the first feature. And then, just kind of washing out on that last feature, but that was a good run going. He'll look to his 3rd, though. He's got one more, or no.
Yeah, one more round.
Yes, you're right. There's one more round. Sorry, I wasn't sure if he was the first to go.
You scared me there for a second. I was like,
I scared me, too. He's got another crack at it. See what gave him an issue. Switch lip slide, just kind of coming off a little on his tails, and I think it just threw his balance off.
So he's going to stick with that first run score for now. Remember, only the top 2 are moving on as we go back up to the top. It is the 3rd and final round here for our last heat in round number 1 before we get into the head-to-head matchups here. Starting us off, he's your current leader, 2 big scores in the 80s. He started off with an 82.66, then bumped it up to an 86.66. It's Colby Stevenson, 3rd and final attempt.
And taking a completely different line as the lip right 270 on the top rail. And there's a switch 270 backslide, continuing 2 out, and then here coming into the wall ride. So really impressive to see someone come out, put 2 huge scores down. I think he did what he wanted to do in that second run, and so he moved on to a different line. And it's a good strategy. He'll get to see how the judges respond to that run.
Well, that'll play out here in that next round because, again, with 2 runs only, and you're going head-to-head in the next round, it's your 2 runs combined in that overall impression, what the judges are going to be looking at. So changing it up a little bit for that next round.
For sure. You don't have the luxury of making mistakes, really, in this next round. Yeah. It's like you got to put it down both runs.
The throwaway run does not exist in round 2 out here in Super Street Style.
Switch on, front switch up, continuing 450 out. What were they going to do with that? In an 81.
Yeah, 3 scores in that. I mean, the 81's your throwaway.
Yeah.
Or your least best score. So that's not a bad little outing right there for Colby Stevenson.
No, not at all. That 3rd run score would have him in
yeah, from what we saw in those first 2 heats, that 3rd one would have been good enough to get you in. So Cal Carson, again, to tell the story here, just on the outside looking in right now. You need better than a 77.33 to overtake Edward Terrio.
And he has the tricks for it. It's a super technical run. It's just going to be executing it. That was a little cleaner there on the switch 270. Back 6 out. Coming off that rail a touch early, but putting the run down. Big disaster. 450 out. Line 4. Stomping it. I don't know what the judges are going to do with that. But he's happy with it.
Yeah, crowd's happy with it. I mean the crowd extends almost up to the base of the pipe right now. That's how many people are still out here on the mountain tonight.
So watch this second rail, this temporary tornado as I called it, but the switch 270 continuing 6. It's a lot of spinning, and he made it look really smooth. Pretty much gets that whole down rail there. I'm going to give that to him, and then the blind 4 off that death kink. The crowd loved.
The death kink. It sounds so ominous.
And it is. There's another name for it, but I can't say it on the broadcast.
It's not PG-13 approved. So a 68, so that'll be his best one of the 3. The crowd does not like it. The boo birds are out. So that means with 2 skiers left to go here. Colby Stevenson still sitting in the driver's seat with that 86.66. This next gentleman here sits in that number 2 spot. Looking to move on into that head-to-head round here. It's Edward Terrio, 3rd and final attempt.
2 on, front 4, coming into this down rail. The right side 270 on, continuing 2 out. Looking clean, looking similar to his previous runs. Getting a little hung up on his edges there. Not quite the execution I think he was looking for.
Almost got a little bit of a snow sample there going into the snow fence, but good save.
Held it together.
I like how no one backed up at that point. Everyone just stood their ground there right at the fence line. They're like, we got you, Edward.
Through sickness and in health. Yeah, that death kink, it's taking people out.
It's ominous.
It's a difficult one.
So he had bumped up in that last round with a 77.33, so he's going to stick with that run at 2 score. Consistent there, all in the 70s, 71.33, 73.33, and a 77.33, so it all comes down to this last run. So we know Colby Stevenson's going to be moving on into the next round, so one man stands between Edward Terrio moving on to the next round. It's this gent right here. It's Calvin Barrett.
There's that broken slide back 270 out. It's a cool trick. And that was probably the best he's executed it. And then coming to this last feature where he had his trouble last run. Blind 450 out. Just keeping it smooth. I think he really just wanted to land that run, and he did. Well executed. Denver boy putting it down.
Yeah, he seemed a little frustrated there at the end of that one. You could hear him say, not quite. Take a look back up top from his third and final attempt.
You know, I didn't see a lot wrong with it. I don't know if it was maybe not the tricks he was hoping to do or if he had to scale back, but yeah, but I mean, everything he did, he landed smooth.
Looked like he kind of, I don't know, like you said, went into cruise mode a little bit, just kind of slowed down. That was actually his best score out of the three with the 66.33, but you could see by the body language at the end of that one, he was not super stoked on that one. So Colby Stevenson with a couple of monster runs right there checks out with an 86.66. He is the top dog here in Heat 3, so that means he is going to go up against Sam Zahner there, who finished second in Heat number 1 when we get into that next round. And, of course, Edouard Theriault getting that second final transfer spot. Let's check in one more time with Mr. Cote.
Hey, thanks, guys. Colby Stevenson, the crowd had your back that whole time. How much of this is business? How much of this is pleasure for you?
Oh, man, it's all fun out here. Got such a good crowd. Everyone's having fun. My dad's out here. Yeah, good vibes for sure.
Now we're switching things up. We're going head to head. Does that change the way you approach this course, or are you just going full force?
I mean, it's such a sick format, changing up from normal, and yeah, now you got to do like 2 different runs, and they both count. So yeah, I back that a lot, and excited to do that.
Colby Stevenson, get back up there. Let's fire it up again.
So taking a look here at some of the highlights from Colby's performance here in Heat number 3, where he walked out, skied out, I should say, in the top spot. Round 1 is in the books. We'll have round 2 head-to-head when we come back.
We fight the battles no one hears about. We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others. And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others. Join the fight.
Check it out. Imagine how much Mountain Dew is in there.
We should probably drink these fast.
Hey, it's me, food. I'm so much more than just what we eat. I'm hand-cut, fresh and frosted. I love it. Aw, I love you too. See, life is always something new. All messy, frantic, and amazing. And from where I sit, you look delicious. That's why every day is worth celebrating. If you can. Stay fresh. Sincerely, food. Sincerely, Safeway.
Welcome back, everyone. Dewtour Copper Mountain 2023. It's a party under the lights out here on a Saturday night. Men's Ski Super Street Style Round 1 in the books. Now it's a completely different format here in this second round, Gus. So they're going to go head-to-head here. They're going to get 2 runs each. It's the best run that counts. It's your 2 runs combined. That's the overall impression the judges are looking at. It's overall impression. So the throwaway run is gone. You have to have 2 solid runs. We talked about it earlier. Colby Stevenson hammered that point home for us there in that interview with Chris Cote. So let's talk about strategy change going into this round here.
Yeah, I mean, you do not want to have a mistake. You don't want to have a bobble. You don't want to fall, because both of these runs are counting, and they have to be different runs. And so I think it does change people's approach. I think that we might see people potentially holding back on their first run, putting one down, trying to land a second run clean and move forward. But I love it. They're keeping us on our toes. They're keeping the athletes on their toes, the crowd, all of us. It's super exciting to see a new format.
To break it down in the simplest of terms here for this round, I'll have to quote Reese Bobby here. If you ain't first, you're last in this go-around right here.
That's exactly
right. You're just
right.
going head-to-head. 2 runs and done. And you do not have that throwaway option. So Alex Hall, he was the top scorer out of heat number 1. So he gets to go up against Andrew Egan, who was the number 2, or the second best score out of heat number 2. Remember, Andrew kind of squeaked in there at the end. We didn't see that score populate before we saw Pete Kukoff take his last run right there. And then all of a sudden he jumped up and overtook Matt Dufresne. So it's the battle of A. Hall and Andrew Egan here in round 2. Here at Ski Super Street Style.
I didn't get a look at the scores, but I'm assuming that Alex had the lower of the scores between the two of them, and that's why he's going first, because I feel like it seems a little advantageous to go second. Switch 270 on, continuing 450 out. He is not holding back. And then the switch on, front side switch up across the transfer, pretzel 270 out. That was a super clean run. That might have actually been a cleaner run than his runs in the first round.
So all the scores that we saw out of round 1, those have been erased. It's a clean slate here going into this round, and that trend will continue when we get into the third and final round, where our top 3 out of the head-to-head brackets here move on to decide our podium.
Yeah, we see Alex having some fun there. He's kind of rocking on that hitching post at the top, getting onto the rail, doing the backside switch up. And just skiing really smooth. I've said it over and over, but it's just a well-executed run. There's the frontside transfer, come into that death kink, pretzel 270 out. No hands on the ground, no wavering. Just a solid run.
So I thought we were going to see a score there, but maybe not. They're going to keep us in suspense here in the booth, and we're just going to play the waiting game and just see how this all unfolds when it gets down to the wire there. I guess that makes sense because it's overall impression of your 2 runs as we take our first look at Andrew Egan here.
Yeah, had a little bit of a bobble, kind of got caught up on one of his edges and had to switch his way around. And did a bit of a revert, so I think that was kind of a throwaway run for him anyway, but going for it on the wall ride.
So yeah, that's a tough one there. Again, as we keep talking about strategy change here with no room for error this go-around. That is a tough break there for Mr. Egan. Let's see what went wrong here in his first attempt.
He had the 2 on. He just kind of under-rotated the rotation out. He landed a little bit sideways and got hung up on his edges, and I think it forced him to do a revert, turn around to gain control again. But yeah, not gonna do it.
Well, that's going to be a tough one to come back from because, Alex put down a solid run. So if he puts one more down now, that's pretty much going to assure him a spot moving on into that final round.
For sure, yeah. The pressure's off Alex, definitely. He's just put down a really solid run. Not even a safe run, but a super, super solid run. And Andrew had some bobbles. So I think that now coming into second round, Alex can kind of play it pretty safe and know that he's going to be through to that third and final round.
So he's down, but he's not out because, again, Alex still has to go out there and put down a second complete run without a fall as well. So, we've kind of told the story, but, it's not there's no guarantees.
There's not at all, and that's the thing. Alex could play it too safe, and Andrew could come from behind. So you never know. But I guess we'll see what happens right now because we are back at the top. It is the quickest format ever.
Hey, they're not messing around. It's go time. We're going right back up to the top here. So A. Hall's got one in the books here. So he's just got to put down one more clean run, and it's moving on into the podium round.
And he is not playing it safe. Nose butter 450 on that first rail, switch right side 270 on the second, getting a switch up on that big rail, and then a switch 270 on, 270 out on that last flat down. I can't stress enough how impressive that was because he didn't need to do all that. It's a head-to-head. He just needed to put something down, and I think that he kind of made it impossible now for Andrew to try and edge him out. Alex just put down 2 really solid runs and very different from one another.
Let's take one more look at his second run here in the knockout round.
Love that nose butter 4. There's the switch right side 270, continuing 270. The left side, backside switch up to switch, and then spinning, switch the opposite direction, 270, continuing 270 out. Technical, good variety.
Almost took out some coaxial or some XLR cables right there in the corral, and almost took those kids out in the shins right there. Again, it's, you know, it's the price you pay when you're in the front row right there. So
when you're a fan of skiing, you're a young kid, you'll happily take the shins. Cut to the shins from Alex Hall.
You know what? You're willing to take that hit to make it in the TV show.
Oh, Andrew going a little bigger than I think he wanted to on that rail. And yeah, I don't think that's going to be enough to do it. So I think we'll be seeing Alex Hall moving on.
Yeah, he had his work cut out for him there, and I mean, it's pretty obvious at this point with the fall there in the first one right there. Alex Hall moving on into the final round there.
So switch lip on, blind 270 out. And then here goes the 270, backslide 270 out. That gave him trouble last time. He puts it together this time, but carries a bit more speed than I think he wanted to and kind of overshoots that third rail. Not what he was looking for, but
I'm a little shocked.
To his feet.
A little shocked that we haven't seen anybody else throw some flips out here. I mean, there's still $2,500 up for grabs.
I know.
Here, courtesy of our friends over at Papa John's.
If anybody can hear me do a flip.
I mean, listen, we're not trying to put half-baked ideas into your head, but there's money up for grabs here.
I mean, especially if you're in this head-to-head format and you fall in your first run and the other person lands, and if you're Andrew in that position, bro, go get that Papa John's money. Do a backflip on every feature.
It's Saturday night advice from the booth.
If anybody's listening, watching, knows these guys, text them, tell them.
Good to go? All right.
There's pizza money.
Maybe we can get these kids in the corral area down there to make some signs, say, somebody do a flip. Here we go with Tucker Fitzsimons in our next head-to-head round here.
Looking smooth, 270 pretzel, 270, and then a 450 on that one. Gets the entire rail on that big transfer disaster. And then a switch 2 on. Continuing 2 out on that flat down. So I think his strategy was what we were kind of expecting, just a smooth, clean run. You got to land something that wasn't quite as technical as what we saw from him in the previous round with the pretzel 450 on the top down rail, but I think he knows he just has to land something and put it down. And he has to do it again. He has to land 2 runs, 2 different runs.
Yeah, that's the story we keep telling out here. I mean, you have to have 2 solid runs here in this head-to-head round here, but we don't see the score until your second run because it's the overall impression of the 2 together on that 100-point scale.
Yeah, and he's not playing it too safe. I mean, the right side 270, pretzel 270 into the left 450 is a good combo. Hitting this big disaster, getting the whole thing, and then a switch 270, backside 270 out. Solid, solid, solid first run.
So he's going to square off against Edward Terrio, who was the second transfer spot out of heat number 3. So again, those scores that we saw out of round 1, those are gone. It's a clean slate here going into the head-to-head round.
Yeah, Tucker just put down a solid run, so Edward has got his work cut out for him. But he was putting down big scores in that previous round. There's the 270 on, continuing 450 out. Love that landing on that, adding some style to it. Right side 270, continuing 270. And then coming into the transfer, the switch on, nose over transfer, back 4 out. Solid run. 2 solid runs, him and Tucker. We are not privy to the scores, but I would have to imagine that those would be pretty comparable.
Yeah, if you're sitting at home, you're like, hey, walk the plank. We don't know because we don't see scores in our monitor either, so. We are in the suspense moment with the rest of you out there in TV land as we take a second look.
I think he wanted something more on that top rail, maybe kind of got a little bit of a snow snake coming in, but held it together really smooth and was just clean throughout. It's hard. I don't know. I would maybe say the top 2 rails were more technical for Tucker, but then I think that transfer at the bottom for Edward was more difficult.
Well, they're going to go back up to the top and get ready to re-rack for their second attempts here. In the meantime, let's check in one more time with Mr. Chris Cote.
We got our first finalist of the night, Alex Hall. How does that feel to hear the words finalist of the night?
It feels good. Crowd's insane, so I'm hyped to get to take a couple more runs in front of them.
I think even better than that, you were just right over here. This little kid right here said you're his favorite skier in the world. Does that push you to ski that much harder?
For sure. It's so fun to have fans out here, and hearing stuff like that is like the main reason I do it, to inspire the kids and have a good time. So yeah, it's been a fantastic night.
Do you hear that, kid? It's all about you.
All right, so going back up the top. By the way, Alex Hall with the score for him when you combine those two runs. The judges awarded him an 88 flat, so definitely one of the highest scores, if not the highest one that we've seen out here in this competition tonight thus far. But here we go, round number 2. They both put down solid runs the first time around. Let's see what Tucker Fitzsimons can do here in round 2.
Yeah, Tucker going with a different approach, doing the switch tailside 270 on the first rail, different rail line. There's the right side 270 to switch. Coming into this final feature, he's also hitting the transfer. Same trick that Edouard did, the switch on, nose over transfer, blind 4 out, maybe even a little bit cleaner. That was a really solid run and a completely different run than we've seen him do already tonight, so you gotta love to see it.
Variety is the name of the game here when you've got to put 2 runs down here in this round. And this is the only round where you need 2 runs, by the way, so it's just this round where that strategy changes up.
Yeah, there we went. Nose over transfer in the one direction, continuing 2 out. And then here, switch on, nose over the other way. Blind 4 out. And a super solid landing on that. Boom.
Yeah, that thing is just, it's daunting. It just spits you out at the end of that. I mean, I've seen it, you know, a dozen or more times out here tonight, and it never gets old.
Yeah, Edouard definitely has his work cut out for him. It's Tucker's not making it easy. Oh, and we see a switch 450 onto that rail. That's a big technical trick. Coming off that second rail, potentially a tiny bit early. And the first guy we've seen go up onto the roof.
On top of the shipping container.
I don't even know what just happened. I'm going to have to see a replay on that. But coming down, hitting that corrugated tube. Oh! And then doing a little rodeo out of the wall ride, doing a flip. Papa John's.
See, they're listening to us, Gus.
Papa John's in his living room at home. He might have to cut a check.
Listen, you know, he takes a little piece of my heart right there when he does stuff like that.
Whether or not Edouard makes it into this next round, he is potentially getting a piece of that pie.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. That scared me. He hit his tails a little bit. I thought that might have been what would happen, but kind of, it's such a technical trick doing a big spin onto a rail like that, but he just kind of nicked the tail of his skis getting on. There we see him going up onto the roof, hitting that corrugated tube. It's just a different line. It's something creative. I don't think it's
checking the structural integrity.
Absolutely, and you know what? It's sound.
He's just making sure that the SBT crew were on there, we're crossing the T's and dotting the I's right there when they set that thing up, and it's looking good. It passed the test.
It did.
And then right there at the end, why not? You know, throw a little love in there, try to earn yourself some pizza cash.
It's a smart move. You know, if I was out there, which I'm not, I would be going for that pizza money.
Listen, takeout or delivery, $2,500 in your pocket is good. Either way you look at it.
It's not delivery. It's Papa John's.
So who's it going to be? Tucker Fitzsimons or Edouard Theriault?
Are you going to walk the plank?
That's your chair. That's why you're sitting in that spot.
I think I would give it to Tucker. I think those are both really clean runs. Edouard also, it was really impressive, that switch 450, but there was a little bit of bobbles, and yeah.
Ooh, a 92 for Tucker. Wow.
It's a big score.
So we're cracking into the 90s right there. So Tucker Fitzsimons is going to join Alex Hall in the podium round. How about that score?
It's a big score. And we're back to the top, and this guy, I'm so excited because he already gave us a taste of what he was going to do. He gave us 2 different runs in the last round, and they were both really technical and really solid.
So Colby Stevenson, he's going to square off against Sam Zander here. Sam was the number 2 seed coming out of heat number 1. So again, 2 runs per skier. You have to have 2 complete runs. The judges are looking at overall impression, working off that 100-point scale of both of your runs. So he gave us a little insight to it with that interview with Mr. Cote earlier. Now it is time to party under the lights here for Mr. Stevenson as he starts us off here with our 3rd and final head-to-head matchup.
I just love this first trick on this waterfall rail. Switch left side 270, pretzel 450. Again, we're going to see the backside 360 switch up to switch. Mixing it up again. There's the switch right side 270, continuing 270 out. And then a super fed on the transfer. That's a super technical trick. Frontside switch up, continuing 450 out. It's a solid first run. Colby, man, he's just consistent.
I mean, he's been solid all night long.
I love that. That is so fun to watch. That blind 360 is super smooth. And in his very first run when he had the bobble, he ended up doing a switch left side 270, but here he does it to the right, spinning both way 270s, and then comes in on this transfer and does a big super fed. Super clean. Love to see it.
Okay, so that is one in the books there for Colby. So now it is time for Sam Zahner to shine here. Getting thumbs up here from the comp staff. So here we go. Hometown of Sparta, New Jersey.
He goes left side 270 on to forward. A little bit more conservative. There's the backslide to forward. Oh, I think maybe he wanted to do that big rail transfer there from the flat to the down that we haven't seen. And there's the front side 360 switch up transfer. Not quite getting it. I don't think that was what he was looking for. But he has another run, although depending on what Colby does, it might be pretty hard to try and come back from Colby's potential lead right now.
Yeah, we're kind of looking at the same situation that we saw in our first head-to-head matchup there.
Oh, Sam, if you're listening, it's do the pizza money.
Advice from the booth.
If Colby lands his run, if Colby puts it together, go for that pizza money. That frontside 360 switch up across that transfer is crazy to me. It's one of the more technical tricks of the evening. He did it so perfectly in that previous round.
Taking a look at the overhead shot right there, the first couple of features there, as we mentioned earlier, 4 different pads, if you will. It's a lot of features out here, and again, hats off to that crew from SBT as well as the Woodward crew putting all this together. I mean, not only do they spend the time putting this out here and giving all these options for the skiers and snowboarders, then they got to go out and they got to put all the branding and all the signage on this as well. So, I mean, it is a daunting task, and these guys are out here days, weeks in advance putting all this together just so we can have some action here for 2 whole days. So hats off to that crew and the job that they do year in and year out.
Love SBT. Can't say enough good things. The courses they put together for us are always all time. Keeping us safe, making it creative, making it fun.
Yeah, I mean, in this one too, like I was talking about this earlier, I mean, just you watch the evolvement of this event over the years here at dewtour. I mean, there's just so many options out there tonight. I mean, I couldn't believe when I walked out here last night and got eyes on it for the first time. But here we go, round 2 here for Colby.
There's the lip right side 270. To switch backside 270. Backslide, continuing 2 out. Big rail transfer to front 2. And coming into the wall right feature. Switch on, frontside switch up to the top. Just going out to switch, not as technical as we saw from him before with the blind 450 out, but I think he knows. He already put down a good clean run. He just needs to put down another one.
It's the strategy of the night. He's like, you know what? Just get in there, put a run down, get through it. So we've already seen Alex Hall and Tucker Fitzsimons move on into that 3rd and final round. Who will be joining him out of this group? Colby Stevenson has just made his case.
Big transfer disaster on that down rail, the front side too. And then I don't know if he made a caught up. Yeah, I think he kind of did. I think he kind of caught his back ski a little bit there, and that's why he didn't do the 450, but he didn't necessarily need it. He had a good clean run up to that point. Some technical tricks, already landed a really clean first run, so all he needed to do was put it down.
So this is our last skier here in the head-to-head round here. Had a little bit of a issue there in that first run there. And we're getting into the podium matchup there.
Yeah, I think that for Sam to break through here, it's going to have to either be a really, really technical run that's enough to make up for the mistakes in the previous run, or potentially we could see some flips for the pizza.
I was just going to say, pizza money.
Pizza money.
Cool, thanks.
And I think we've only seen, what, 2-3 people do that thus far?
There's only been two flips. That's $2,500 on the line. Both way 270, pretzel 270s. Starting out strong. There's the, oh, he wanted it. That was that big transfer, but didn't quite do it. But maybe we'll see a flip. Nope. Dang.
So, yeah.
He was going for it. He was going for it. I think it really would have taken a lot for him to try and upset Colby with those 2 solid runs, but I'm excited.
Yeah,
to see
definitely.
I'm excited to see what Colby does in the final.
Yeah, so
walking the plank.
It's going to be crazy. I mean, him and Alex and Tucker have all been skiing so consistently out here tonight. I mean, they're all going to. So a 90 for Colby, so he's into the 90s as well. So again, monster scores right there. But, you know, shout out to Sam. They're making it out there in that number 2 spot in that opening heat there. It's a tough battle out here for having to put down 2 runs. So now we get into that 3rd and final round there. These guys are all assured podium spots here between Alex Hall, Tucker Fitzsimons, and Colby Stevenson. It's just a matter of who's coming out top dog here in ski super street style here for dewtour 2023. Let's send it down one more time with Mr. Chris Cote.
Yo, thank you, Colby. All right, it all comes down to this. Did you save anything for these final 2 runs?
I got some stuff to add for sure. Hopefully I can do it.
I know you're in a hurry to get back up there. Good luck. You got 2 of the best riders in the world to go against. And let's give this crowd a show.
Let's get it!
So what do you think? Do we see more flips? Do we see anyone try to go for some of that pizza money here in the final?
You know, I think that
in the final round.
I think that all we saw in that last round of the head-to-heads was that rodeo off of the wall ride.
So you got Alex Hall punching his ticket in the 3rd and final round first with that 88 flat. Then Tucker Fitzsimons in his matchup comes in with a 92 flat. And then Colby Stevenson gets his ticket into that final round with a 90 flat. So as I mentioned before, they're all going to be on the podium. It's just a matter of now which place on the podium they're going to stand when it's all said and done.
And again, those previous scores don't matter. They had to go through all of that just to get to this final round, but it's a clean slate now. They are all starting anew, and they have 2 runs to try and put the best one down.
Get out the dry erase board, everybody. Those scores are gone. It is a clean slate here going into this 3rd and final round. Who's walking out of here? The winner of men's ski super street style here at Copper 2023 dewtour. We are about to find out here. And we're not waiting around. We're getting right back into the action here, and Tucker is going to get us started here. So now we're back to best run that counts here, so we will see scores after the individual runs. So no more of the waiting game. So here we go. It comes down to these last couple of runs here. Tucker Fitzsimons. All 3 of these guys have skied very consistently out here tonight. This one's going to be close.
And I think that in a way the pressure is off. As you said, they know they're on the podium. That's got to be a big sigh of relief, but they are all so competitive. They want that win.
Yeah, you know you're getting on the stage, but you want that top spot.
For sure.
And then also, we're still handing out $2,500 worth of Papa John's pizza cash out here tonight as well. Don't forget about that.
I'm not forgetting about it. I haven't forgotten about it. I can't forget about it. It's all I think about. I don't think we're going to see it in this final round unless one of these guys falls. I can't imagine them adding it into one of the runs that they're already crafting, but you do never know.
Okay, so just waiting to get the thumbs up here from the sports and comp staff. So this is the final round of ski super street style for the men. We get to do this tomorrow for the women's field as well. So
all right,
street style, of course, getting a facelift here in 2023 with a lot of added features. So here we go. It's Tucker Fitzsimons starting it off.
Right side 270, pretzel 270. There's the left side 450 to forward. Big disaster. Front side 270 out. And the switch 270 on to switch. Not quite as technical as what he did in the previous rounds, but a smooth, solid run. Some big technical tricks at the top. It's going to be a good score. It's not going to be, I don't think, his highest score of the night, but he put it down.
Take another look from the top down here for his first attempt.
So spinning both ways on those top 2 features. And getting the entire rail on that down one, not down bar, but just carrying more speed than I think he was anticipating into that disaster.
Yeah, definitely looks to be coming in a little faster than what we saw in previous rounds. So an 80 flat for him right there. So kind of in the neighborhood of where he was there in his opening heat in round 1. But again, we're back to best run that counts here. in this round here before we crown a champion. We're getting ready to take our first look this round at Alex Hall.
Here's Alex.
And Alex also potentially having kind of a bobble on that first feature that wasn't quite what he was hoping for. And there he goes for the nose over transfer into the nose over backside switch up transfer, having a little bit of an issue, not quite executing the way I think he was hoping to, but he's got another run, and I think that it's we kind of know what he's going for now, so that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, a little bit of a slip up there. We'll have to take another look here, and Gus talk us through what happened here.
So on this one, he was doing an additional rotation before. I think maybe he held it out because he's going for a bigger trick here, doing the nose over transfer and then doing a switch up transfer. So technical. I mean, that third rail is shorter than the middle one, so he's not giving himself a whole lot of time to make that transfer happen, and just kind of got caught up. But I do think he'll put it down this next round, and I'm excited to see it because that is a crazy technical trick.
So again, just to recap, we are back to the best run format here. We're still working off the 100-point scale, so Alex will settle for a 61 here this go-around. So Tucker Fitzsimons stays in the top spot for now. But here we go with Colby Stevenson, who has been extremely consistent out here tonight.
So consistent coming into this waterfall feature. I don't know if I've said it every time, but I'm pretty sure I have. I love that first trick. And there we see the blindside 360 switch up on the transfer, 270 out. There's the right side 450 pretzel 270. That's stepping up that feature from what we saw before. And then switch on, frontside switch up, pretzel 270 out. That is...
Oh, he's fired up at the end of that one.
That's the best run we've seen from Colby tonight, and he was putting down some pretty heavy scores, so I think that that's going to be... It's going to be pretty up there. He spins both ways. This is the switch left 270 on that crazy waterfall feature with a pretzel 450 out. Love that blind 360 switch up on the transfer. Here he's spinning to the right 450 and then comes into the bottom doing a switch on, frontside switch up on that transfer, pretzel 270. Getting that pretzel 270 on that right side 450 is an upgrade from what we've seen him do in previous runs on that down rail. So I can't imagine that not being a huge score.
So into the 90s again. He had a 90 flat in the last go around, so a 92.66 to put him in the top spot.
Again? All right.
And now we're back up to the top of the start order. Tucker Fitzsimons, second and final run.
Yeah, this is it. You only get 2 attempts at it here. Again, it is the best run that counts here in this round. Can Tucker Fitzsimons get it done here?
Well, starting out strong, did the pretzel 450 on that first right side 270, which is an improvement for him also. And then coming to this last rail, 450 pretzel 270, looking really smooth. That is what he needed to do. That was a solid, solid run. He's got some fans.
I mean, he's had some support out there the entire time. I mean,
he's got like big bobbleheads.
They got the fathead signs out there in the corral.
So there, that right side 270 pretzel 450 it's really technical on that top feature. There's the switch left 2, back 2, a little bit more of a stock trick, and that big transfer with the back 2, also maybe a little more stock, but it is a really big feature. And then getting the 450 pretzel 270 on this flat down, and he did it really clean. The landing is just effortless.
We're gonna take
we're taking another look at
the entire run from top to bottom here.
I don't know. I mean, for me, it's going to be personal preference. I think that Colby's run was more technical, but it's a judge sport, so it can go any which way. It depends on what specific thing they're looking at, if it's focused more on technicality or what it is. But
so at 89.33, so close to the 90s, but not enough to overtake that top spot.
Yeah, I think that's what I would have given it. It was a really, really solid run, but I just didn't quite have the edge that Colby's had.
It's the beauty of being in this chair. You can speculate, but then you don't have to hold your feet to the fire.
No, and then I'm right, and I look like a genius.
Exactly.
But if I'm wrong, I'm like, you know what? I don't know what I'm talking
it's
about.
an opinion.
I'm drunk.
So here we go, taking a second and final look here at Alex Hall. Alex sitting down there in that number 3 spot with a 61 flat, trying to bump it up here in his last attempt.
Getting that last rail, putting a little speed check in there, doing the switch, lip slide 270, continuing 4 out, and then switch on, front swap. Oh no. And I don't think that that's going to do it with coming off of the rail early.
I think we're looking at a victory lap here, Gus.
Yeah, I think so too. Unfortunately, Alex not quite able to link it the way he wanted to, coming off that rail a little early. Not going to be an improvement, or it might be an improvement. It's going to be an improvement, but
silver linings.
But
the glass is half full.
It's not going to be enough to challenge Tucker Fitzsimons or Colby Stevenson.
So that means this gentleman right here is going to get the wrap the party up out here tonight with a victory lap. He's the last skier to go. He sits in the top spot with a 92.66, so about to send this one home for all the fans out here under the lights tonight.
And Colby, I know you got music in those headphones and you're not listening to me, but if you are, it's a victory lap. Go for that Papa John's money. This could be a clean sweep.
It's the bonus. It's like an extra topping on your night, sir.
It's true.
Good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he didn't hear any
He
of that.
didn't hear any of it. He didn't hear
He's
it.
in his own world right now. Maybe he'll appreciate this later on when he rewatches it. He's like, oh yeah, those guys were trying to get me a, some extra walking home cash there.
Just trying to hook him up with some
You're
money.
just trying to help, Gus.
Looks like he's doing the same run again, potentially. Maybe changing it up down here. Oh! Ow, that doesn't feel good.
Just getting a little tossed at the end right there. That's okay. It's the best run that counts. So
the kid is a tank.
He's got this one in the bag right there by virtue of that 92.66. That one stung a little bit. You can see when he takes the lid off right there. He's like, yeah.
It did, but you got to respect the send. I mean, he was going for a victory lap. He didn't need to do anything, and he was trying to put down the same run again, cleaner, or maybe he was even going to step it up at the bottom. And I love that. You got to respect that.
I mean, it's been a great night. I mean, I love this format. I love all the different features that we've had out here. We've talked about it a lot out here tonight, but it's worth saying again, just like the way that these courses have evolved in the history of this event here at the dewtour, and just this one was awesome. It gets better every single year, but there you go. Colby Stevenson, your winner, followed by Tucker Fitzsimons and Alex Hall rounding out the podium out here tonight. So one more time, let's check in with Mr. Cote.
What a final. The fans stayed out, they stayed up, and these riders put on a show. It's gonna go from left to right here, starting with you, Tucker. Tucker, you got the crew behind you. You made them proud tonight. Dewtour, what a show.
I'm stoked. Really stoked to make it into the finals and then to put down a solid run. It's the best run I did out of all the practice all day, so I'm stoked. Really stoked to have my family, my friends here. Yeah, this is a great event. I'm super stoked.
Heck yeah, I think we're all really stoked on that. I see you guys looking up there, watching the work that you just did, and I see the joy in your face. This is what competitive skiing is all about.
It is. Wish I could have put one down at the end, but so hyped for the homies. They threw down, and stoked to be on the podium with them.
Colby, you told us. You told everybody you had something saved up for the final. You nailed it. Unfortunate, that last little stinger at the end. But with pain comes the joy of being the champion. Congratulations, our dewtour champion.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Nothing comes without a little pain and struggle sometimes, I'll tell you that.
Well, we're gonna make this official with an awards ceremony. Let's hear it one more time for these warriors out here. That was insane. We will be right back with our awards presentation.
Yeah, you could tell just by his body language there, like that one stung him a little bit in the end there.
For
That's
sure.
a tough one to take on a victory lap too right there. But you know what, going back to what you said, I mean, I applaud the effort.
Yeah,
I mean,
me
you
too.
know you got it in the bag and you're still going for it.
He didn't need to do it, but he was doing it, and I think that is super impressive. So kudos to him. Took a little slam, but I think he's okay. And
well, while we're waiting to get the awards ceremony set up here, let's take a look back at how we got here.
So there Colby is on that waterfall feature. The switch left 270, pretzel 450, left side 360 switch up on that transfer. There's the right side 450, pretzel 270, and coming into that last transfer rail, switch on, front swap, pretzel 2, super clean. And that's what I'm talking about. He didn't even need to do another run. He was still going for it. Here's Alex's third place run. know it wasn't quite what he was looking for, but this transfer feature right here, going over not once but twice and doing a backside switch up, is so impressive. Unfortunately, just not quite getting it together on this very last rail feature.
Yeah, you know, and just for the journey for these guys to all get to this point as well. I mean, it was it was a mighty task to get through, you know, the opening heats, and then you had to go into the head-to-head round right there. So hats off to all these guys just getting to this point.
Yeah, and here's Tucker Fitzsimon's run. I actually don't think that this was his winning run. It wasn't. He had another run that was a higher score where he did the pretzel 450 on the top rail and got the pretzel on the bottom flat down. But that was one of his many solid performances. And it was good to know, too, that the people at the bottom were friends and family. I wasn't sure if maybe he was going to have a restraining order because there was a lot of
the super fan zone?
Yeah.
A restraining order.
He's like, I don't know any of these people.
You know, he wins the fan zone award for the night. You know, he put in the work. You got the family out here. You got the best support crew out there in the corral area. So we still got to hand out some pizza award cash money here, Gus.
Oh, please tell me, is this what it is? The rodeo off the wall? Is he getting the Papa John's money?
Is it Edward Terrio? It is.
Oh, Jonathan, Daddy, Father, coming through with the paycheck. Daddy's plastic.
He's going to take home a little slice of USA cold hard cash, courtesy of our friends over at Papa John's for the Papa John's Best Flip of the Night award.
Yeah, and he's Canadian. That's going to be even more when he converts it.
What is the current exchange rate right now? I should know this. I was just up in Calgary.
I don't know.
I should know better.
I could be wrong. Maybe the Canadian dollar is stronger. I have no idea.
I wasn't told there was going to be math tonight. I was just trying to be funny, and now it backfired because here we are in camera, and people are like, yeah, what is the exchange rate, Jimmy?
Well, and everyone's looking at you.
I know. It's pretty close.
Yeah, it's close.
Anyways, I'm going to deflect right now. I mean, I was surprised we didn't see a lot more people trying to go for that cash. You were giving the advice out all night long.
I was. I mean, I think the biggest mistake that I saw tonight was that people were listening to music and not listening to us, which is crazy. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to focus or something. But had they been listening to us, they would have known about the Papa John's money.
That it was still up for grabs.
It was still up for grabs. Eduard did it. I loved that rodeo off the wall ride. I think that was a deserving pizza fund.
Yeah.
Recipient.
So $2,500 to Mr. Terrio to take home back to Canada. So we've got another day of action still to come out here from Copper Mountain. We've got men's snowboard superpipe kicking off. All these times are Mountain Standard Time, by the way. You could do the math for wherever you live in your part of the country. Ski and snowboard high air best trick cash jam. We're going to run the skiers and the snowboarders together in the superpipe. That one's kicking off at 1:30. Then we're back under the lights. We get to do this all over again, Gus. It's women's ski super street style, and then capping off the action, it's men's snowboard super street style. So it's another big party out here at Copper Mountain.
Love it.
Well, it's about that time. We're getting word they're set up down there, so let's send it down one more time to Mr. Chris Cote with our awards presentation.
Thank you, team. All right, let's do this. To present the awards, we want to welcome Skylar Wilder and Dane Barry from Nixon. We're going to start things off with our Papa John's Flip It. Who's the flipping winner of this one? Eddie, walking home with $2,500. Congratulations. Skylar and Dane, do you have the trophies ready? All right, Team Nixon is on it. In third place, let's hear it for Alex Hall. Give it up. We got the diehard fans still out here on the mountain. This guy had the crowd behind him all night long. In second place, let's hear it for Tucker Fitzsimmons. And your 2023 dewtour champion, let's hear it for Colby Stevenson. Get your photos, post them on the gram. Like my mom says, put them in the Facebook. All right, let's keep Copper Mountain beautiful. Pick up your trash. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll be back first thing tomorrow morning. More action live from Copper Mountain Dew Tour 2023.
That's a wrap for us here under the lights. What an epic way to wrap up competition here on a Saturday night. A big thanks once again to Mixmaster Mike for the performance that he put on out here and keeping the fans fired up out here. That is a wrap for day one. We've still got day two still to come tomorrow. For more on scheduling and some highlights, don't forget you can always log on to dewtour.com. I'm Jimmy Coleman on behalf of myself, Gus Kenworthy, Chris Cote, all of our sponsors, and all of our hard-working crew out here. We thank you for watching. We'll be back tomorrow right here at noon Mountain Standard Time.